let's get into the Zillow.com and how I like to use it. I plug in a property address, and let me just plug in a property address in Troy, Michigan, 3715 Ledge, Troy, Michigan 48084, and I tend to put in the zip code every time I do it. And when I come in to Zillow, it immediately brings up my property, shows me how many bedrooms, how many baths, square footage, some of the key things that we're going to need as far as criteria to determine the value of our house. And what I like to do is, first thing is I click on this section with all the bubbles, and it has for sale, potential listings, and for rent in here. I want to click on the recently sold, and I want to unclick for rent, potential listings, and for sale. And immediately you see all these yellow dots here. These are all the properties that have sold within this area, which is a very desirable area in my particular market. Now, I have 4 bedrooms. I put in 3 bedrooms typically, and I will go in and put in 2 bedrooms for here, okay? And in that video series that I put together, it shows you how to put in your ARV if you're not comparing apples to apples, which we'll do for this video, but I want to show you sort of how I use it. So with this is the square footage, and I like to put in 100 square feet below, so square feet is 2028. It's 1928, and I will put 2128 because I want something that's comparable in size. And then year built for my property is 1969, so I'll put in 1959 and 1979. And I tend to like to look at sort of like the last 90 days to see what's happening. And I see that there's one property that sold in the last 90 days, just to see how much activity has happened real close to my property. But I will also go out to as much as the last 12 months just to see what's happening. And in the last 12 months, we have a number of different properties. We have one for 319, 290, 298, 389, and I'll click on these just to look at some of the specifics. Now, this one was done in November 2013. This one was sold in August 28th, 2013, and not very different from my property. It's a 4-bedroom, 3-bath, 2,100 square feet, whereas mine is 2,028 square feet. And I'll click on this just to get an idea of the condition of the property, all updated stuff, and we can see that this property is updated, been taken very good care of, whereas if you compare it to the property that I'm looking at, it's, you know, got some stuff. It's still a nice looking house, but it's not that updated feel. You still have you know, some of the Formica countertops and those types of things. Still a nice house, and probably could be worth closer to that 319 price point, but because of the updates, you know, we might get a little bit of a higher price point. But for this particular property, I'd say this house is pretty much worth what it's looking to be sold at. You know, maybe, you know, in around that range. But this I just use as an example. Obviously, if you're buying a property and or listening to this training video, you're looking for something that you can pick up at a discount in most cases, unless you're just looking to see how to use Zillow to maybe find out the value of your property. But that's it, guys. Just really quick, going into recently sold 3 bedrooms and just taking a look at some of the square footage, the year built, and last sold in the last 12 months. That gives me an idea of what's sold in my neighborhood, and I can go through all these listed comps here and click on each one, see what type of condition they're in, and see what kind of price I might be able to demand if I were going into the market and looking to sell. So